I think this project should demonstrate that it's all achievable. We're in Dartford at the moment at the Fairfield Leisure Centre. This is a council-owned building, but operated by Places for Leisure. So here we had to decarbonise the site, and the most noticeable thing probably behind me is solar panels. And solar PV is, a very great way to be renewable on site. I don't know, a bit more to my left, you might be able to see some vertical panels, and that's solar thermal. The building has about 100 kilowatt permanent load on it to heat the pool. So the idea is that the solar thermal preheats the water, and then the solar will use the electricity of the air source heat pumps. And further behind me, you see a large row of heat pumps. We use a modulated design in preference to individual large air source heat pumps, and we find that modulated result gives us higher performance figures. We look at what kind of technology is going to be put in and how we're going to place the units. Behind us, you'll see that we've used roof voids rather than roof spaces, and we don't need to shut any facilities to bring up modulated designs. They can come up easily. We don't need to shut a building for that. The hot water was turned off, I think, through the midnight, through to 2 in the morning. The pool temperature only drops half a degree in that. So we make sure that all the technology we bring in allows the client to be operating the facility throughout the process. Structural loading is a big problem when we get air source heat pumps. We want the plant up in the roof, and when we're looking at single point loadings, which are very high, the structural engineers will tell us what we can get, what we can have and what we can't have. Often the additional structural mechanical requirement is very costly, and it delays things. We've then got to break into roof membranes, and that causes further problems with future leaks. So being able to hang effectively individual air source heat pumps in strong points of the building is a huge advantage for the project. Another lesson learned for the project was also how we were going to bring in the solar carport power into the building. Originally that was going to be on a large armoured cable, but that was going to be stretched across the car park and aesthetically not great. We were concerned about the safety elements of that, so that was then dug into the ground. That then encompassed another problem with gas mains, and because they were still there at the time of the project. So I think the understanding all the mechanical plant, how it's performing, is really vital. There are times of the year that this building consumes no energy from the grid. We, with AI on top of the BMS, are able to predict what's going to happen. Our goal is to try and make this one of the lowest cost per square foot to operate as a leisure centre. And I think that should translate into other leisure centres having the confidence in taking these projects forward, because leisure centres are shutting because of high operational cost. They're an important part of the health and well-being of any council, and I think this project should demonstrate that it's all achievable. You can operate a centre, make it cheaper, and hopefully it translates into the people having to spend less to be fitter.